good afternoon, and welcome to Community Connections. I'm Marnie Yule, your host. Glad you're joining us today. And my first guest is one of my favorite people of all time. We were kind of talking back, and I think we've known each other 8 years, Andrew Bogdanoff. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you.
I talked to you, oh gosh, it was 8 years ago, and a year after your accident, and you were doing some things at Pike College, some entrepreneurial things, which just, excited me. And we became friends, and I've just watched you grow and continue on your pathway of what I'm now seeing as a very successful pathway.
Yeah, thank you.
But currently, you're the Adaptive Fitness Coordinator, right? A certified trainer at New Horizons Disability Empowerment Center.
Correct.
And that's located over in Prescott Valley. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I actually was out hand biking one day, and Dave Siegler, our executive director, flagged me down, and he knew that I was involved in adaptive sports and fitness, and he said, hey, we have this new building, we have a space for a gym, and we'd like to incorporate an adaptive fitness center. So all of our equipment in the gym is accessible. You can actually roll into the equipment, work out from your wheelchair. Everyone is welcome, disabled or able bodies. Everyone is welcome there. But yeah, I do personal training there. We're actually going to be resurfacing a tennis court out back as well, and doing some tennis, wheelchair and stand-up tennis. But yeah, it's a great resource for the community. It's actually free to use the gym, and then I have a small charge of $25 an hour for personal training as well. So we try to keep it reasonable and welcome everyone there.
And it's open for anyone.
Anyone. Yeah.
So physically disabilities or
yes
or not.
And it's really neat because a lot of the gyms in town, Anytime Fitness, Planet Fitness, and they're great gyms. But they're not really specialized towards disabilities, so they don't have the equipment, the adaptive equipment. But some of our things we can like roll on and do a hand bike, from our wheelchair. We don't even have to transfer out of the wheelchair. Same with some of the other pieces of equipment. You can actually just stay in your wheelchair if you don't know how to transfer very well, which is really nice. When you're in a chair, to be able to get a complete workout in.
Right, right. Well, real quick, your disability, you had a skiing accident.
Snowboarding, yes.
Snowboarding, yes, about 9 years ago.
Yep.
And then completely changed your life, and holy smokes, what you're doing now is put just, me to shame, me to shame. What we're talking about, you mentioned the tennis court. So you are like one of the top-ranked tennis players in the world.
Yeah, I'm on a journey, that's for sure. So I started playing tennis 3 years ago. When COVID happened, team sports kind of came to a halt, and I was doing wheelchair basketball and wheelchair football, and we weren't able to practice with team sports, so me and a couple of buddies decided to grab some rackets that we got at Goodwill and hop on the court and hit around, and then I immediately fell in love. I was like, this is awesome. This is something I can do on my own time. I can just grab one friend, my girlfriend, Sharon, whoever, and go out on the court and hit, and I was having a blast with it. So I started doing USTA tournaments, so just tournaments like nationally, more on the West Coast, and then found as I was kind of climbing the ranks that it was something that I was really good at, and so I decided to try to classify professionally to play internationally on the tour, and ended up classifying into the quad division. So quad meaning that you have to have 3 limbs impaired. And so for me, I'm actually paralyzed from the chest down, so I have no core control, and then the back of my arms, the triceps have limited sensation and such, and so my disability classifies into the quad division, and so I had the opportunity to play, and I've started climbing the ranks with that, and I'm at number 32 right now.
In the world?
In the world, so.
That's amazing.
For wheelchair tennis in the quad category.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is just amazing. So you made it a
you.
goal to do this.
Yeah, and it's
If you want to do it, you're going to do it right.
Yeah, thanks. So it's super exciting too because tennis and playing sports with a disability is just great because it's a form of therapy for me. I don't even think about the wheelchair when I'm out there. I'm just like playing tennis like anybody else, and so that's super special to me. And then it's challenging. It's awesome that you can see the progression, and it's really cool because a lot of wheelchair sports you can't make a living out of, and tennis is one that they have that opportunity. At each tournament, they offer prize money. At the Grand Slams, they offer money as well, and so it's really cool to still be able to make a living in a professional sport while being in a chair because just not a lot of people watch chair sports as much as stand-up sports, but tennis is
Right.
growing, and the tour, a lot of the tournaments go alongside the able-bodied tournaments as well, which is
Okay.
really exciting.
Right.
So.
So you medaled bronze in one of your tournaments, world tournaments.
Yeah, so the World Team Cup just happened in Vila Moura, Portugal, a few weeks back, and maybe a month ago now. And we were over there, so we were representing Team USA. So I got picked to be on Team USA. There was 3 of us from this country that went over to compete in the quad division, and they only take the top 8 countries in the world. So we were qualified for the World Team Cup, given our past history there. And we went in, and it was my first World Team Cup ever. So I was just excited to be there. I ended up starting essentially and playing almost every single match, which was a lot of pressure because if you don't qualify in the top 6, you get relegated, meaning you can't come back next year without having to qualify.
Okay.
I was like going in with a mindset is like, don't get disqualified. And then we ended up getting a bronze medal, which was super exciting. So we beat Japan in a tiebreaker.
Wow.
So we were the last ones on the court. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and we were playing Japan. It was this nail biter, probably the most high energy nerves that I've ever
Oh my
had
gosh, I did
in a
mention.
sport. And it came down to the last few points, and we ended up beating them in a tiebreaker in the 3rd set to take bronze. So
Wow.
I was definitely a highlight of my career. It's something I'll remember for the rest of my life. So it's
Wow,
pretty-
that's only
pretty awesome.
just the beginning, though.
Yeah.
You were telling me about a tournament you have coming up in Canada.
I've got
You're
a
going to keep
couple,
going
yeah.
to qualify for the Grand Slam in the United States.
So that's the goal, is to be able to qualify for the Grand Slams. The U.S. Open just came out with news this year that they're expanding the quad draw from the top 8 in the world to the top 16. So me at 32, I'm trying to get my ranking up to hopefully qualify for the U.S. Open, which happens in New York, and to be able to compete there. And then another goal of mine is the Paralympics, which happen right after the Olympics
Right.
in Paris in 2024.
Well, my money's on you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think we all need to bet on Andrew representing the United States at the Paralympics. I think you are focused. You rise to challenge. You're amazing. I'm so happy to know you. You inspire me. We should inspire a lot of people out there to just get moving, do something, and then enjoy life. And that's what you've been doing. Great job over at New Horizons, David Sigler. Thank you for sharing him with us. And then we'll just bring you back after you get back from Canada, because I'd love to hear more of your story. We're running
Sure.
out of time, obviously, because we don't have enough time to talk. But Andrew Bogdanow, follow him on Facebook, Instagram. He's got a great story. He'll take you all over the world and probably see more places you've seen. I know I have. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having
Good
me.
to have you. We'll be right back.
STEM is the discipline of hard numbers, precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to get messy or just mess it up. Dare to program something internet breaking, record breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to try. Dare to fail. Dare to keep daring. Dare to learn the difference between organic, sedimentary, and non-foliated metamorphic rock. Get outside, find those rocks. Dare to be homeroom famous, a high school fable. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. And for the love of STEM, dare bigger. Dare to code, dare to invent, dare to explore, dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
How prepared is your family if a wildfire shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or an earthquake? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Make a plan today.
And welcome back to Community Connections. I'm Marty Yule, your host, and joining me now is Bill Kraus. He is the director of Sousa's PCA production of 12 Angry Jurors. Opened last weekend, but we still have another weekend coming up with Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday performances. Bill, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You know,
Great to be here.
this is fun because I'm excited because I saw it last weekend. And so many times when I interview the directors or talk about shows, I haven't seen them yet. So it's all, you know, I don't know what I don't know, but I know a lot about this one. And what I just want to open by saying is well done. Outstanding production.
Well, thank you.
Goes by like that, never a slow moment. Just very true to the original, if you remember, 12 Angry Men was a movie with
Henry
Henry Fonda,
and Lee J. Cobb.
Lee J. Cobb.
And Ed Begley Sr.
Yes.
And Jack Klugman.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a great cast. Yeah,
And
great
so
movie.
great cast, great movie. That was done back in the 50s.
57.
57. Oh, I was like 3 years old. Anyway, coming up now, we have 12 Angry Jurors.
Yes.
So what was the change?
Well, we changed. We wanted to be. There's no reason why it needs to be 12 Angry Jurors. The only reason in the 50s that it was 12 Angry Men was that women didn't actually sit on juries.
Exactly,
Until
exactly.
really, it varied by state, but until the 60s really. And so we moved the time frame up to 1970, when the time when women were sitting on juries. And it really, the story is the same, all the details of what happens are the same, but it does change some of the interpersonal relationships.
Right.
When you've got some small threats of physical violence, for example, it's really different when it's between a man and a woman, and it's between
Right.
men. So it I think, heightens it emotionally somewhat.
Right. It adds, I think, the emotional part of it. It's men tend to be a little more physical. Women will bring that thoughtful, that introspection. Well done. Like I said, the mixed cast really tells the story well, and it's done in the new Studio Theater, which if you haven't seen it, any productions in there, it's done in the round. But congratulations on choreographing it such that you never missed a line, you heard everything, and you could see everything.
It was really interesting doing in the round. It's very intimate. The audience is no more than a few feet away from the action, and of course, most of the time they're sitting around a table, but we make sure that they get up a little bit, and you're not always looking at the back of somebody's head. And I did come up with a solution that I mentioned before the show, which is if you have a problem and you're looking at only seeing the back of someone's head, if you come back and sit somewhere else, then you can see their face. Works out really well.
And I thought of that when that in his opening speech, he does tell us that, and I thought of that at one point. But then again, then about that time, that juror would stand up and walk, and suddenly now I'm seeing their face.
And
you know.
nobody has complained to me that they couldn't see somebody or that
No,
they couldn't
no.
understand the action. We try to make it very clear to everyone all around. The studio space is beautiful. We take advantage of the projection capability, which is very nice, and it really creates a whole environment that everyone feels like they're part of it inside.
Well, I like the way, you know, the windows were on one side, and then you had, you know, the president's picture and that side. I mean, it's like right in a courtroom. You know, very, very, very well done. In jury room, in a jury room, and then you know, your cast is amazing. That goes
They're
without
great.
saying.
The biggest job is putting the cast together. After that, you just sort of hopefully just let them.
With that group, yes.
And they work very well together. They get all the credit.
Right. Well, tickets are still available for coming up this weekend.
Yes.
And so you just go to, there's a new website, isn't there?
Yes,
I used to
it's-
go to pca-az.net, but now I think there's something
And now
new.
it's PrescottArt.org.
PrescottArts.org. You can purchase tickets. It's general seatings, and I can just tell you, anywhere you sit, you're going to see it's a good seat.
Yep.
You know. Also, as part of this, they have a jurors painted chair exhibit, and it's a youth arts fundraiser going on at the same time. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's we got contacted by the advanced arts class at Prescott High School, and they wanted to do something in association with the show, and so they created 12 individually painted chairs, one for each juror, and they're in the gallery at the Studio Theater, and they're having a raffle to raise money for the arts program. By $5, you can vote for which chair you want, and you can win one of the chairs.
Oh, okay.
But they're really cool. They're each one, no, my only input was to send a little capsule description of each of the jurors. And then those were given to the students, each one to interpret about the character of that juror. And so one of the characters, one of the jurors is a nurse, and another one's an architect, and another one is a watchmaker, and they also their sort of emotional characteristics as well. And they did a really good job. They're really cool.
They are very cool, so I'd recommend, you go see there. Take time to either before the show or after the show to go in and look at the chairs,
and
then
vote,
also
vote for a chair and
support the arts.
Support the arts.
And that was a great addition to this, and so
Yeah.
that'll be going on until the end of the show, which is this coming Sunday.
That's right.
Matinee, so that will be June 9th, 11th.
June 11th.
June 11th. So again, that's over also at Sousa's PCA in the Studio Theater in the gallery section. So again, Bill, great show.
thank you.
I highly recommend. It is extremely well done and stays very true to the movie. If you've ever served on a jury and you've been in a jury room, this is kind of a fun to look at it.
I was a foreman on a jury once, and it was wasn't a murder case though, so.
Right. Yes, this again is a murder case,
stakes
again,
are
just like the
very-
movie.
The stakes are very high.
Yes, well, there you go. So coming up again, thank you.
Thank you.
And just want to remind everybody, coming up, County Fair is a country jukebox musical. Tickets are on sale for that, and that opens
That's
June.
June 30th and
And-
through July 9th.
And so it's a musical.
Yep, and it's a jukebox musical, so lots of your favorite country hits put into a kind of a musical comedy format.
Looks like, some of my favorite. Hey, Good Looking, The House That Built Me, Thank God I'm a Country Boy. Hey, Good Looking, and more. So that's going to be going on again, opening June 30th.
Yep.
So a lot of fun things going on. And that is in the Cabaret Theater.
Yes.
So that'll be held in the Cabaret Theater. So what's next for you?
Well, I'm going to take a little break because I've been working very hard on this show, and I deserve a little time off. But
Yes, you do.
I think I'll be back next season. I'm not quite sure how yet, but you can't get rid of me.
Yes, well,
I
good.
love it too much.
New season opens with Man of La Mancha in September.
That's
Go
right.
to, again, well, I still go to pca-az.net for that.
PrescottArts.org.
PrescottArts.org for the complete schedule, and
Yep.
Flex passes are on sale, and you can get all
That's right.
the whole season, and again, both at the Studio Theater and the Cabaret Theater.
15 shows next year.
Wow, there's one for you.
15 shows.
If not on stage, directing too.
I'll be there somewhere.
There, well, I hope to work with you. It'll be fun.
Likewise.
Oh, Bill,
Thank you
great.
so much.
Well, thank you for joining us. Go to PrescottArts.org. Again, that's going to start flowing off my mind. But meanwhile, this weekend, go see 12 Angry Jurors. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Do you know how much water you use? By checking your water meter or utility bill, you can find out how many gallons your household uses every month.
And welcome back to Community Connection. Joining me now are two gentlemen from Verona. Well, actually, maybe not the two gentlemen, but I've got Loring Snyder and Monty Reichert joining me. They are in the Lark production of Two Gentlemen from Verona that will be opening in another week at the Highland Center for Natural History. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, but I did say you were gentlemen.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you. Yes.
It's Shakespeare.
Well,
There's
yes.
Shakespeare in the Pines series that supports youth
Youth
programming.
Programming, yeah.
Summer camp stuff and all, youth programming
Mm-hmm.
in general.
At the Highland Center.
Right.
Beautiful venue. They've been doing that for several years now, though.
Yeah, this is the 10th annual one, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And they've been adding things all the time.
Yes.
Things grow.
Right.
I watch them grow or trim them. They've got Discovery Garden and with labels on a lot of the vegetation.
It's a beautiful
Playground
place.
equipment and a nice walk.
Yes.
Path to walk through, a wheelchair, stroller accessible.
It's one of my favorite places in town. I send all the time. I send people there. But what a perfect venue for a Shakespearean production.
We are in the amphitheater, and
Right.
it's very nice.
So tell us about Two Gentlemen from Verona. I know they pick a different one every year,
Right.
obviously. Two
Well-
major parts in it, so you've got it down. We know that everybody understands every word of Shakespeare.
Well, it's like Yoda in Star Wars, yeah. But, so I am the father of one of the gents, and I'm Antonio, and I am the father of Proteus. And the Duke here is the father of the, what'd you say, the daughter?
Sylvia, yeah.
Sylvia that gets involved with these two gents. And
Well, I know our production assistant here, April, is also in the show. Jump over here and set your face in front of the camera here, and let's share you. Now, who do you play?
I play Julia. I am actually the love interest for Proteus, and I decide to go get my man back, and shenanigans ensue. So,
Yes.
What, you don't have, Duke, you don't have control of the situation.
Oh, I try. I banished Valentine.
Thank you, April.
Proteus lies to Antonio, so, what's Dad to do, He can,
Well, Proteus tells me of Sylvia and Valentine's plans to
Oh.
elope, and I get all steamed up, and I banish Valentine, so that none of that will happen.
How difficult has it been to learn the lines for this play? Shakespeare plays.
Horrible. It's terrible.
Shakespeare in
Oh,
itself
that's
is,
because, I feel like I'm getting older.
well, yeah.
Not remembering.
I always thought that played a role in it too. Was
what?
Is the age factor of the actor, but I think in general Shakespeare's lines are so different from what we normally would say that you really, for me anyway, I have to get a translation for him. Go online and be able to say, okay, here are my lines. I have no idea what I'm saying here, so I have to go pull that translation up to see what it is in modern English.
Oh, really?
And then that's when, then you can understand,
Then
we
you
can
say
relate
it
to
that
it.
way in your head.
Yeah.
So that it helps, the emotion of it helps propel the meaning to the audience.
I'll be. Wow, what a great idea. Especially when you have long monologues
Right.
that this Shakespeare tends to have in his productions, his plays.
Yeah.
His plays.
Well, yeah, I guess back in his day, people wanted that kind of stuff. They liked the wordplay
Right.
and the cleverness of it, I guess, at the time.
So how many performances do you have?
There's 4 performances.
Okay.
The 16th, 17th, 23rd, and 24th.
Okay. Well, I noticed, because as is done with the Shakespeare in the Pines and the experience at the Highland Center, that there's an opportunity you purchase your ticket, and I think you get a couple of wine tickets or
Yeah.
Right.
drink tickets, beverage.
Beverages, yes.
Nice word.
Adult beverage.
Let me use my big girl words, beverage. But also on the side, you can buy a picnic lunch or a picnic dinner that night, and that's
Boxed dinner.
Boxed dinner,
Elgato Azul.
and that's done by Elgato Azul. So that's kind of a fun little addition to
Yeah.
having some food and
The
drinks.
menu is on the website.
Yes, it is. It's also in front of me, but it's
right
very
here.
good,
Okay.
you know. But it's again, you know, it's just a nice, like a picnic, evening picnic dinner. It's the weather's beautiful, so you
Yeah.
come out and enjoy the early part of the evening, and then see the.
Person may want to bring a coat as well.
Yes, can't get
Yes.
chilly.
It usually does.
Has it been that way during rehearsals?
Yes.
Ah, yes, and we, you know, pray that no rain. You've had rain in the past years.
Oh, yeah, they
Yes.
sit through, the audience,
Bring your umbrella.
the people who typically come to Shakespeare are regular attenders of
Right.
Shakespeare. So they're, and, you know, living out here, they know, okay, I'm gonna bring a coat, or if it's a hint of rain is coming, or they see it, you know, they come prepared. They've never canceled a show. I don't think I've ever seen
No.
anybody leave because of rain.
Huddled
just-
together.
I mean, it'd have to be
closer
pretty
and-
bad weather to.
Right,
to
just
break
bring
it.
an umbrella. I mean, that
Yeah.
should be standard accessories during the summer anyway. We had that
Right.
Sunday, and I was sunshine and beautiful afternoon, and all of a sudden, you know, 15, 20 minutes of torrential winds and rains
Right.
to sunshine at 6 o'clock again at night. You know, it was
Yeah.
just absolutely crazy. So, you know, the umbrella would come out or it would,
Right.
you know, be put away. So, again, a great venue. So you're having a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these
Yeah.
guys have been doing it for, I'm a kind of a newbie to the group, but Loring here and.
You've done several
he's
productions
done-
with them.
He goes back a long
Yeah,
ways.
we did Merry Wives of Winslow.
Right.
And then it was Much Ado About Nothing.
Yep.
Tempest, we did that one.
And they haven't always been at the Highland. Carla has done shows at
Well, sometimes we take it
PCA too, I think.
somewhere else, like.
Well, you've been out to Arcosante.
Yeah.
Arcasante,
She took it
yeah.
out to Arcosante, yeah, yeah.
And they did Hamlet out there,
Mhm.
I think.
That was before my time.
But
I've-
no matter what, I've been to several out there, and it's always a wonderful evening, spending it outdoors at the Highland Center, enjoying, they put on a very great production,
Yep.
extremely talented cast that's always been getting those words out, and you
That's
do
right.
enjoy the show. Even if you say, I'm
Absolutely.
not a Shakespeare person, still go, because the experience is, you'll get so much more out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the cast does blend together. I mean, there's a synergy when the cast starts having fun together.
Right.
And then the audience knows, okay, these guys are having fun.
Well, you can get tickets at the Highland Center on their website.
Yeah, their website.
Highlandcenter.com. I don't know, I bought my
highlandcenter.org.
tickets, chance to buy your dinner, and just go out and have a wonderful evening and see Loring and Monty. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you at the Highland Center.